A friendly desert community where the sun is hot, the moon is beautiful, and mysterious lights pass overhead while we all pretend to sleep. Welcome to Night Vale. Oh no, wait, no, copyright. Hi, I'm Ginny, and today I'm going to be reviewing, discussing, and just talking about the Welcome to Night Vale novel by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Cranor. Now, so for those of you who don't know, Welcome to Night Vale is a podcast that's been going on for more than 3 years now, and it's one of my favorite things ever. So this review might be a bit biased, so I'm sorry if it's not the same way that you feel about the book. I just love everything about this world. Everything about it. Welcome to Night Vale is a show about the town of Night Vale, which is located somewhere in the US and is really hard to find. And if you are a citizen of Night Vale, you can never ever leave. Unless, of course, you can. Night Vale is a desert community, and the show is told in the style of a radio show hosted by the glorious Cecil Palmer, who tells you the events of the day. And Night Vale is not a normal place, at least not the understood definition of normal. The things that happen in Night Vale are normal for the people in Night Vale, and actually kind of normal for me now that I've been listening to the show for so long. It's a weird town with conspiracies, hidden governments, a dog park that you cannot go into, angelic beings that you're not allowed to acknowledge, and a lot of beautiful, mysterious, creepy, terrifying, and existentialist things, and everything about this world is fabulous. I would love to go and live in Night Vale, and I'd probably not survive more than 5 minutes, but I would still love to go there. I genuinely want to go there. I love this podcast so much. I can actually imagine what background music they would have used for what scene in the book. For the ending, I can imagine them using this. That is the music they would have used. I know this, okay? I just love this show. The book kind of takes off from the podcast. You don't have to have listened to the podcast in order to get a hang of the things that go on in the book. I mean, a lot of things that do happen are references from the podcast. Of course they are. I mean, it's the same town. But you don't need to have heard the podcast in order to understand this. If you're coming here from the podcast, you will get all of the references that they've made. If you're coming here without having listened to the podcast, this is going to be an intense and a really fun, really emotional ride for you, and a little more than a little, really weird. The story is about these two women who we've heard of in the podcast, Diane Creighton and Jackie Fierro. Diane Creighton is head of the PTA and also works in this office where nobody knows exactly what they're doing. She's also the mother of Josh, a 15-year-old who keeps shape-shifting. And the story focuses on their relationship. It focuses on the lives of people in Night Vale and the day-to-day activities. This is more than we hear in the podcast because we only hear the events of that day. We don't hear the lives of people on a regular basis. This is kind of a shift from the podcast in that sense. Jackie Fierro is a 19-year-old who has always been 19. There was a time when she wasn't always 19, but now she always is 19. The story is about a lot of things, like Night Vale stories usually are, and the chapters alternate usually between Jackie and Diane, and it's about their lives. It's about an event that happens that disrupts the functioning of their day-to-day activities, and it's also about the man in the tan jacket. People who listen to the podcast know who he is and know that he's been there for a long time, for about 2 years, a little more than 2 years I think. He's been there and everybody knows that he's there, but nobody knows who he is. So the story starts when the man in the tan jacket comes to Jackie's pawn shop and gives her a piece of paper that says King City on it. From that moment, Jackie's life is completely disrupted and her routine is thrown off course, and she gets involved in things that she would rather not have gotten involved with in the first place. The story also focuses on Diane's relationship with Josh, and it's a very bittersweet kind of a relationship. It's a mother-child relationship that you want to work out, but very early on you realize that it's very strained. The book starts off slow and gradually keeps building. It tries to give you a lay of the land. For those of you who haven't watched the podcast, listen to the podcast. You can't watch a podcast. For those of you who haven't listened to the podcast, it carries very well the essence of Night Vale into readable material, and I think they've done that transition very nicely. They've kept the oddities and quirkiness of Night Vale, the terror also, and the horror elements of it, and they've shifted it to a book which works. It takes into consideration the people who haven't listened to the podcast, and I think it does a good job about explaining what Night Vale is. It keeps the whole existentialist angst and the mystery and the horror and just the things that make Night Vale Night Vale. It doesn't compromise on any of the things that we love about the show, but it does also give you a view about families and relationships and how things work in Night Vale outside of Cecil's radio show. It does have a bit of Cecil in it. There are parts of the radio show that when it's going on we can hear or technically read when the story progresses, and it also involves a lot of characters other than Diane and Jackie and Josh and the man in the tan jacket that we love and we would like to see more of, like Carlos. It also goes into detail about things that we don't get to actually experience outside of Cecil's radio show, and to be honest, even if I was stuck in a time loop where I'll be forced to relive my life over and over again until a certain point, or even if I'm a person who wanders around trying to get people to help me but who nobody remembers and who nobody can remember what I've said, or if I get eaten by deer, honestly, I would love to live in Night Vale. One of my dreams is to voice act on Night Vale. Like, that's been my dream ever since I started listening to the podcast. I am in love with this world and I want to be part of it, and I will do that one day, hopefully. And that is it for this. It wasn't a review. Oh wait, no, it only becomes a review if I tell you if it was good. It was good. It was very good. If you haven't listened to the podcast, then read it. If you have listened to the podcast, then definitely read it. You should read it. It's a fantastic novel. It is very Night Valean and Night Vale-ish? Night Valean? I don't know what the word is. But either way, it's very, very true to the heart of this program, and I love everything about it. And you should read it, and that's it, I guess. I don't have any Night Vale accessories, which is very sad because I really love that mostly void, partially stars shirt. That is one of my favorite quotes also from the show. You should listen to the show and you should read the book, because if you want something that will comfort you and also kind of terrify you at the same time and also really creep you out, you should really listen to Night Vale. It is fantastic. And I don't even know what happened with this video. I kind of just went on about Night Vale. It was an excuse to talk about Night Vale. I am not even gonna deny it. Until next time, good night, Night Vale. Good night. Welcome to Night Vale is a production of Commonplace Books. It is produced by Joseph Fink. No, it is written. Welcome to Night Vale is a production of Commonplace Books. It was written by Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner and produced by Joseph Fink. Oh, it's a production of Night Vale Presents now. There was, what else after that? Joseph Fink and Jeffrey Craner, produced by Joseph Fink. The voice of Night Vale is Cecil Baldwin. The music? No, I forgot what it is next. Disparition.bandcamp.com. Today's proverb is: she understood the world and her place in it. She understood nothing. The world and her place in it were nothing, and she understood that.